Cut into feed. Begin transmission.
This program is intended for mature audiences. Parental discretion is advised.
And here I am. Hello, everyone. How are you doing this Sunday? Man, I stayed up late last night. I got a video cut that will drop sometime, probably Wednesday, probably around 5 p.m. my time. That'd be 6 Eastern. It's not anything really special, but it's a little retrospective that I put up about the old Lone Ranger movie that came out in 1981, The Legend of the Lone Ranger. It flopped. It failed really badly. It was legendary. Why did that happen? Well, the video will tell you. Those of you who watched last night's Spotlight on the Lone Ranger know exactly what I'm talking about. And it's a pretty good video. And if you're a member, a channel member, if you've joined the channel, you have early access to that video right now. And don't worry, Patreons, I will take care of you guys this afternoon. I will get that loaded up on the channel for the patrons, so you guys can get a sneak peek at that as well. Now, let's see what everybody's been chatting about since you guys got here. So who's here early? That would be Shaitan's Hammer showed up first. Good to see you, Shaitan's Hammer. By the way, you have the power, my friend. You now have a little bit of a moderation power there in the chat, so use that wisely, sir. Honor you 83. Doing my Sunday running, listening to you. Well, good deal, man. The Toy Mama's here. Good to see you. I'm sure Adam's not far behind. Everything's plastic. Good to see you, man. Check your Insta. And Mary Otwald, that would be the radical mom herself, is here. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Schmebylock, Bjorn Jorgensen is here. Good to see you, sir. And I hope your internet is doing well. If it's not, just let me know. But hopefully it's going to be doing okay. And of course, the Toy Mama, happy to see. Oh, is Adam not feeling well? You tell him I said he better get well, and I'm thinking about him. Okay. And moving on down, I think that's got me caught up. Yes, sir, you are a wrench. Yep. Did it flop worse than the Ari? The Ari Hammer, I think is the name. Whatever. Yeah, with Johnny Depp. Yeah, it flopped worse than that one. It was a pretty bad movie, first of all, and then second of all, they did one of the stupidest things that they could ever do. You'll have to watch the video, Shaitan. You've got the power to do that, right now. So as soon as the show's over with today, you can go check that out. And all my pre-orders are coming in early. Oh wow, okay, yeah, that's sometimes that can be a bear when they all hit at one time. That can really suck. Yeah, that can really suck. But it's good that your pre-orders are coming in. I've got a pre-order that from Entertainment Earth that I pre-ordered a long time ago that finally shipped, and that's the Aquaman from this latest wave. I had forgot I'd ordered it from Entertainment Earth. Speaking of superpowers, which is what today's show is about, by the way, I've got some speculation on superpowers. We'll get into that here in just a minute. It's some rumblings that I've heard. I don't know if it's true or not, so take it with a grain of salt, as Overlord DVD would tell us. But you never know. Some of this could be true. Also, the Reverse Flash is going for ridiculous prices over there on Evil Bay. Bjorn, I know your Walmart is better at keeping stock than some that I know of, man. Keep an eye out, man. I am looking for a Reverse Flash, and I am not paying a scalper for that. I am just not doing it. I'm $50 for a $10 figure. They can kiss my butt. Hey, Cobby, what's going on? Good to see you, man. Cobweb Collectors here saying hello to everyone. Good to see you, Cobby. So what are the speculations that I'm hearing from overseas about the superpowers? Well, here's the deal. The overseas retailers will put up the stuff that they've got ordered, and they'll put it up immediately sometimes. And sometimes that's correct. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes they jump the gun on that and stuff like that. But what I'm hearing is that one of the next Future Powers vehicle is going to be a Blue Beetle ship. Now, what do you guys think about that? And to go with it, but not included, of course, one of the figures in that wave is going to be the Blue Beetle. I would assume that would be the classic version of Blue Beetle, the one from back in the day in Justice League that used to go blah ha ha all the time when Booster Gold. That Ted Cord version of Blue Beetle. Also in that wave, I'm hearing, and that would I guess they could use that big thick book from Darkseid for that. They're talking about producing a Kilowog figure from the Green Lantern Corps. Sometimes they make figures scarce on purpose. Orko, yeah, I do believe that. I believe that is that it's called short packing. They do short pack figures, and they put chase figures out there. Yeah, that's true. That would be neat, says Bjorn. Yeah, it would be. Also, in that speculation, they're talking about producing Sinestro, and I'm a little upset by what I'm hearing on that one. Is going to be the one where he's wearing his Yellow Lantern outfit, and not the classic outfit that we saw him wearing Super Friends and back in the Bronze Age. That's the outfit I want to see him. I want to see him in his Legion of Doom outfit. So, of course, there's going to be a Superman and Batman in it of some sort. What I'm seeing is kind of, like the a gold variant for Batman and Flash, Batman of Zur-En-Arr, if you know what that is. The Justice Lord version of Superman. I don't know if I want any of that. They're also talking about releasing a Green Lantern Hal Jordan figure. I don't know. I really don't know. So we shall just have to wait and see if that is true or not. And Alex has announced that I'm live over there on the Masters of the Universe chat. Thank you for that, Alex, wherever you are. Multicolor Batman, says Shaitan's Hammer. That would be kind of weirdest costume ever. I remember they released a multi-pack a long time ago. I think DC Direct did this. It was the Rainbow Batman. It was Batman, and he wore a different colored suit every night for some stupid reason. That was back from the I guess Silver Age. Oh, look who's down there in the chat. It's my dear wife, who I will not see this weekend. Hello there, Paula. I hope you're doing okay. I have eaten, but I haven't eaten today. I ate last night before I went to bed. I had those leftover sausage and biscuits that were in the refrigerator. So there, that makes you feel better. I did go by the grocery store and bought a bunch of junk food. So I've got plenty to eat here. Yeah. And another thing that I got here recently, I'm not going to fire up the toy cam today. It seems to interfere with the show. Cape Master came through. Can you see that, guys? That is the overcoat for the Joker that the Joker would wear back in the Bronze Age. And the figure packaging showed him wearing this on the package. So this is just neat. It came just the other day. Now he needs a hat, right? Well, y'all are gonna laugh at this. I bought 2 hats that came on the Toy Biz Jokers that came out. And I had two loose hats. One I was going to repaint and make a Clark Kent hat out of, and the other I was going to try out with the Joker. I don't know where I put them. I'll find them, of course, but one of these days. But I don't know where I put them. And Paula is saying hello to everyone. Yeah, I like that coat. I like that coat. It's pretty sweet. So we getting Green Lanterns. Can we get a Green Arrow? Yeah, why not? Why not get a Green Arrow? That would be nice. I would like to see the hooded version of Green Arrow from the Longbow Hunters. That's the version I would like to see him do. And knowing Toddy, that would be the version that he would probably do. I don't want to see something like, the weird costume that he wore on, say, Smallville. I don't want to see that. You need a tiny hat rack. Well, guess what? I do have such a thing. This is the hat rack that goes in Doctor Who's TARDIS. So yeah, I've got the hat rack. Got you covered there, bro. When you're a guy like me and you do a lot of customizing, there's no telling what you might find in my collection around here. See, I want to see more tiger focused heroes. I bet you do, Bjorn. The majestic tiger focused heroes with pink flowers in their butts. Oh crap! He's got a hat rack. Yeah, pretty cool, huh? So, what do you guys think about that? I mean, that's kind of neat. Dang, I wish I could show it. Well, I'm gonna try to fire that toy cam up anyway. the display area is a wreck. So I will tell you guys that. So we'll fire up the old toy cam, and I'll show y'all what I've got. Something I've got in the works. We have a lot of hat racks. Well, real hat racks we do. We've got one down here in the den. We've got one in the living room, and they're all covered up with coats. They're all covered up with coats. All right, let's do that. Get that old toy cam fired up. It can be a booger bear sometimes to get that thing going. All right. Here we go. Preview up. And see if I can get that thing connected. Yeah. All right. So we got to put some light on the situation. And over here. All right. The toy cam area is a wreck. All right, guys. So what are we seeing there? And of course, we're seeing over here was a stack of figure boxes that I'm working on something on those. I think I told you guys about that, but we'll look at it here in a minute. So what do we see back there? We see the car in a bottle that I did. I did the 7-Up car live on the show last week. So you know, keep your bell notifications brung, because you never know when I just might just go live suddenly, just out of the blue. And I did go back and rewatch that stream, and it was a booger bear. I guess the music helped. You couldn't understand half of what I was saying because I wasn't directly in front of the computer here. You know, right here is where my computer sits, and it just, you know, it's got a mic on it, but it's like a shotgun mic, and if I'm too far away from it, it doesn't catch my voice very well. So and of course my stream wasn't doing as well as it should have been doing. I was kind of messed up there. Speaking of which, somebody tell me how I'm looking and sounding. I didn't do a check at the beginning of the show, so I don't know. Apparently you guys can see and hear me. But anyway, I've got to put those car bottles back up where they go, and I think I think I'm going to keep my eye out for a Dr. Pepper car bottle that's got the box, and that the bottle isn't glued to the stand like that one over there is. That's behind the 7-Up stand. But what do we see over there in the corner? We see a little flora and fauna around a mountainside. And we see Savage He-Man waving goodbye to his tribe as he leaves his tribe to go and protect Castle Grayskull from the beginning, the first storybook storyline. That is something that I've been meaning to do for a long time. I actually did a narration of that storybook with the art from the storybook as a video here on the channel, which Shaitan's Hammer, you have a playlist of those. You can post that if you would like, a link to that playlist, and show that up where they can go to watch those videos. But I've been meaning to do it with the toys and make it look like the other 2 story books that I did. So I've got that storybook, and the last one, I think it's called The Vengeance of Skeletor. I need to do those as toys with maybe a little bit of what I call limited stop motion, and see how that looks. So you guys let me know how that what y'all think about that. So it looked good to me. Sound good. Paul says you got to like that purple coat. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Dr. Pepper is Bjorn Jorgensen's favorite. Is that your favorite of the car models, or is that your favorite soft drink? I think Paula's favorite soft drink is Dr. Pepper, or at least it used to be. She doesn't drink it like she used to. Neither one of us drink sodas like we used to, although I've gotten into drinking one Coca-Cola a day. I need to cut that back to not necessarily one a day, maybe one a week. Soft drink. Okay, that's your favorite soft drink, Dr. Pepper. Pretty cool. All right. So that's kind of what I got planned in the future is getting those new videos done with the figures. It just takes a while. If you missed last night's show, it was on the Lone Ranger, man. We had a great show last night. We had a pretty good crowd in here. I was surprised at how many people showed up. And there were a few people who were notoriously absent. So I'm wondering how things are going with those folks. And Bjorn says, I'm bringing my own Dr. Pepper to Joe Fest next year. Is that because you couldn't find any Dr. Pepper, or is it because the vendors were charging far too much for those Dr. Peppers? That is the question. And I'm going to play a little something for you guys so that I can take a quick break for a moment, because I am by myself. And we shall see how things go from here. Let me find a nice little commercial break to play.
And now, this message.
RoboCop. Part man, part robot. All cop. The ultimate in law enforcement. RoboCop and the Ultra Police. The only cops with rapid repeat cap firing.
He's unstoppable.
Battling the worst criminals. Headhunter. And Nitro. The Ultra Police, protected by Robo Armor, bring RoboCop even more firepower. In the fight for justice, nothing can stop RoboCop. RoboCop and the Ultra Police, each sold separately with RoboCaps.
Splinter the Rat taught them each the ninja arts. Donatello, master of the staff. War! Leonardo, the katana blade. My God! Raphael, the
Don't throw this at home, kids!
And Michelangelo, the nunchakus.
Radical! And master of the willing pizza. Hey, who had the pepperoni and ice cream? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
From Playmates.
It's Batman, like you've never seen him before.
Wow! Hey, Joker, a battering surprise! Missed me, Batman! Batjet, wings out, fire! I never run out of tricks. You'll need them.
Batman, the Dark Knight Collection, each sold separately. It's the real Ghostbusters Firehouse playset.
Megman, our firehouse is haunted! No way! Oh no! I've been gooped! Ghost to the stadium!
The real Ghostbusters, each sold separately, assembly required.
Hey buddy, see anything weird? It's Tombstone Tackle! Don't lose your head! Take a hike! There's a policeman! Oh no! It's X-Cop! I can't believe my eyes! Whoa! We're not scared!
And Cool's teaming up with a good balanced breakfast.
Teaming up with Mr. T cereal. It's getting on the team that knows how cool breakfast can be. You get a crispy corn taste with a touch of brown sugar. Teaming up with Mr. T.
It's cool.
Teaming up with Mr. T. Golden sweet crispy teas. One bite and you're gonna be eating with a team that's teaming up with Mr. T.
It's cool.
Teaming up with Mr. T.
All right, we are back, and I see that people have been chatting while I was out, and Mike Fee has shown up. Good to see you, Mike. Oh, Miss Mary has sent me a super sticker. It is a pair jumping up and down saying that she's a #1 fan. Thank you so much for that that super chat, Miss Mary. I appreciate that. Radical Mom's giving me a super sticker there. And the Blue Sasquatch is here. For the first time ever, he came in and did not ask me if this was live. Well, you know, that's your tip off right there, buddy. Good to see you there, Blue Sasquatch. Glad you could show up. And if you guys want to help support the show, there you can send a super sticker or a super chat. You can also send a tip on the Streamlabs. I've got that pinned up at the top of the chat. There he goes. Is this live? There he goes. I called him out. He says that first. Yeah. No, there's your tip off there, bro. Anyway, so that takes care of that. Also, if you're watching some of my videos that are out there, there is an option called a super like, and underneath the video description there's a bunch of icons there, and one of them is a little heart icon with a $sign in it. That's called the super like, and you can it's like sending a super chat on the video. Damn it, Bill, I just quit smoking cigarettes. But that stogie looks damn good. I quit smoking cigarettes one time. I think I've told this story a dozen times. I quit smoking cigarettes one time. And I guess about a week into it, I must have been being a butthole. My wife came home from work and she had a sack in her hand and she threw it at me here. And it was a pack of cigarettes. So yeah, I need to cut back on the smoking, but you know, I am what I am. And there is Sir Clifton. Good to see you, Cliffy. I think I sent you a DM over there, Cliffy. If you want to follow that and come in, you certainly are welcome. But I know Joneser's not going to be here today. I didn't even bother putting his picture in the thumbnail today when I was making it. 5 minutes before the show started. I wound up staying up late last night. Like I said, I wasn't going to finish. I had to recut the video that was about the legendary flop of the Legend of the Lone Ranger, because there's a section in there where I had some scenes from the movie. And guess what? Copyright ID struck. So I went back and recut that particular scene with a watermark over it. And I took the color out of it and re-uploaded it, and boom, it passed. But you know what's funny? See, I think YouTube's a load of ass. What's funny about that is I showed the exact same one unmolested on the live stream last night. It didn't catch it. Oops, says I like salt. Good to see you, man. I don't normally see you on a Sunday morning. I'm glad you could show up, man. And thanks for that super chat last night. That was a big help, man. I appreciate all the help I can get over here. Thanks so much. Mr. T breakfast cereal looks sort of good. I bet. Speculation. I don't think I've ever eaten any, but I bet it tastes kind of like Captain Crunch. What you think? Maybe, perhaps. So also, let's see what Mr. Clifton's saying here. I think YouTube has a hit out for you, man. It seems like once you get a strike, they policing hard. Well, I don't know if it's that or not, because like I said, the video I showed it unmolested on the live stream last night, and the content checks came through on it with flying colors, no problem. I was afraid that I was going to have to go in and trim that little bit out of my live stream from last night, like I usually do when that happens, and I haven't had to yet. Now it doesn't mean that they might not do it, somewhere on down the line or not. I don't know. And yeah, sometimes they put you on a manual review. You'll get those sometimes. But when you do the things that I do, some of that is just something you've just got to deal with, like when you're dealing with music from Filmation's He-Man and stuff like that, when you're using that as background music in a video. That's why I'm always begging for money, because if and when I do get monetized, I'm not going to be able to monetize those videos that have a copyright strike on them. Well, it's not a copyright strike; it's an ID strike. It's a different from an actual strike against the channel. It's called a copyright ID. But what I did get this week, and I'll go ahead and throw the toy cam up so we can see that. There's a lot of junk here on the desk that I need to move around and get out of the way. I'll put Joker back here with his coat on. You guys can see him. I got a little pack in the mail from the Cape Master. And I bet you guys can guess what's in that packet, because you can see it right out in the open there. That is a Robin cape, and we'll get Robin out and we'll put it on him. And he also sent me a couple of Pokemon cards, and I think I'm going to put those in an envelope and send them to Bjorn Jorgensen. And Bjorn, I got a sticker here for you. I'm going to send you that. I'm going to send you that in a mail. So I know you probably have already done this. Bjorn sent me your address. But I want you to DM me on Instagram and give me your address, or send me an email with your address in it, Bjorn, because I've got a Pikachu card, and that looks like Veonot. So Pikachu and Veonot Pokemon cards, courtesy of the Cape Master. And I'll send those to you. And I've got a sticker here, Bjorn, that you might appreciate. That is a Weird Fantastic Toy Adventure sticker, and I'll send you that. And I'll put those in an envelope along with a nice little personal letter. So let's grab a Robin figure. And I already put a cape on this Robin here. So it's the other Robin who needs a cape. And that would be this guy right here. So there we go. So let's take this cape off. And let's add a new Superpowers cape with the yellow lining in it so that it looks proper. There we go. So, which one of these Robins looks better? Do you guys like this guy here or this guy here? You know, I'm kind of partial to this guy right here. I like the darker colors on that particular Robin costume. However, Toddy got a couple of things wrong about that, and here is, I think, probably one of the best Robin figures that ever has been produced, and this is from the Dark Knight collection from Kenner back in the day. And I will put him up here so you guys can see him. And I will show you some of the differences here of the things that I think that Todd got wrong. So let's look at this guy here and compare him with this guy here. First of all, let's look at the fasteners on the front of his costume. He should only have a few, and they should be at the top. They shouldn't go all the way down. His collar should be black. It's not. His belt should kind of do this number here. It'll kind of come around like that, and then just come straight around. And his boots should have a kind of a sideways cut on them like this. And they're tabby boots, like the ninjas wear. So he's got little toes on his boot. I don't know if you guys can see that on this camera or not, but he just got regular boots. So just a couple of nitpickies there, but otherwise these figures look pretty cool. These figures look pretty dadgum cool. I'm gonna have my scissors sitting over here. Move those out of the way so they're not sitting on the camera. Let's see. Cool diorama. Yeah, that, like I was telling you guys earlier, that's kind of a jungle He-Man leaving his jungle tribe, and I got a little bit of jungle flora around that. I'm getting ready to start filming the video for He-Man and the Power Sword. So before I do that, though, there's a couple things I really need to get done, and I'm going to zoom in here on He-Man there. I've got to paint his spear, and I need to paint his shins. His shins are the wrong color; they don't match his legs and his feet. So I kind of need to take care of that. So I will do that, but I just haven't had a chance to. Sweet, says Bjorn. Bjorn says Tim Drake has my favorite Robin outfit. Yeah, I like that Robin outfit. It really works. I think it was introduced in A Lonely Place of Dying, which was a late 80s Batman storyline where they reintroduced where they introduced the Tim Drake Robin. The inner yellow helps a lot. Yes, I mean he's supposed to have the black outside and inner yellow. Todd McFarlane could have done that, but he did not. Honor You 83 says that he prefers the darker colors. Mike Fee says I like the dark Robin also. Radical Mom likes the darker Robin. Black Phoenix 77, good to see you, sir. Says Tim Drake Robin definitely needs yellow in his cape. In the inside, he definitely does. Bjorn Jorgensen says I like the caveman look of him. Yes, he was kind of a jungle man, kind of a Tarzan-like jungle man living with a tribe of savages in the jungle. And they had heard of Castle Grayskull and the legends of Grayskull, and they knew that the evil powers were out to take over Castle Grayskull. And He-Man chose selflessly to leave the safety of his tribe and go out into the world to protect Castle Grayskull. That would be awesome, and we'll go to the top of the playlist. Thank you, Shaitan's Hammer. I appreciate that. And like I said, if you want to post a link to your playlist, you certainly have the power to do that now, Shaitan. I want to make a diorama for an unboxing video. Pretty simple to do, in my opinion. You go to Walmart and get a couple. You can get blue, or blue's my favorite to use for that. I would get a couple of them. I would get one to use as a mat on the table, and the other one trifold. The trifold project cardboard things. You get one of them to post in the background like I have there, and one to lay down on the table, and that's pretty good. Lack Sivrak, I haven't seen you in an age in here in the chat, man. It is good to see you. Everybody say hello to Lack Sivrak. Lack has got a YouTube channel, and he posts occasionally on there, and it is absolutely amazing. He posted some Dick Tracy figures the other day. It was a wonderful video, Lack. I love that. And he posted a video where he had this big, wicked looking knife that somebody had given him, and that was a beautiful knife, man. I love that. It's good to see you, my friend. And yeah, like you said to me, it's good to be seen. Good to be seen. And I don't know what's up over there on the mothership, Lack, but we'll have to subscribe there to your channel if we haven't already, so we can keep up with what's happening on the mothership. And Shaitan's Hammer's got the playlist link up there. Bjorn, if you would, sir, if you're still here, would you post a link to Lack Sivrak's channel so everybody can run over there and subscribe to him later? Oh man, I appreciate you, man. Bill's Motu Productions. Yeah, I've got to get back to doing some of those. They're hard to do, and they're time consuming. And the way I normally do those is I go ahead and record the soundtrack for them and get that prepared. And then I take a series of pictures that are going to be used, and then I start editing the video together. So the soundtrack stuff is just a matter of me sitting down here and doing some recordings, and usually it takes 2 or 3 takes, and sometimes I have to monkey with the sound, especially when I'm doing voices like, say, Triclops, who's got that reverb in his voice. You have to add that in as a filter. Then once you get all that done, then it's just taking a bunch of photographs, which that takes time to get good photographs and a goodly amount, and enough to be able to make it work. But the longest and most tedious process of that is the actual video editing. Man. There we go. Lax saying hello to Mike. And Cobweb saying hello. There's Boba Hicks. What's happening, Boba? Boba Hicks got a chance to watch last night's show, and he learned a little something. We were talking about the Christopher Reeve Superman movie, the Superman the movie, when it came out. And of course, there was a script by Mario Puzo that was written for that. Now that script is way longer and way more complicated and almost unfilmable next to what actually got filmed. And there's a story in and of that self. Johnny Sorensen may be working on that in the future, or I may be one of us will. But one of the things that a lot of people don't realize, now, they hired Marlon Brando and cast him as Jor-El for one reason, and one reason only. That was the star power. They needed a big name to put in there to draw people in to see it, and Marlon Brando was it. And he was lazy. He didn't learn his lines. They had to leave notes all over the place so that he could read his lines, because he didn't care to memorize his lines or anything. But originally, the way it was supposed to be cast, the actor that was going to play Superman, whoever that was going to be at the time, they didn't know, was also going to play a double role. He was going to play Jor-El as well, because Jor-El in the comics is a spitting image of Superman. They're supposed to look alike, father and son. And thank you, Bjorn, and also Mike. I appreciate you guys for posting up the link there to Lack Sivrak's channel. You guys get over there and get subscribed. I had to take a break, but I'm coming back. All right. Well, the mothership had to be refueled, I guess. Mr. Benny is here. Good to see you, Mr. Benny. I noticed that you left movie night early the other day. I guess you got tired of watching that silly grindhouse version of Star Wars. Me and Joneser were talking about that. I just kind of wanted you guys to see it, but Joneser was saying, well, it's Star Wars. Everybody kind of knows the storyline of that, and they really didn't change it all that much. Well, there's some significant differences in that. But it's pretty much follows the same plot. So we're going to lean into something more grindhousey for the next time. But as I was saying to everyone that night, movie night's probably not going to come back until after the holidays are over with, late January, probably February at the earliest. Because the holidays are just a hard time of year to deal with, and you got so much that you got to do. So I'm not going to drop everything for that, and I don't expect anybody else to either. So there you go. Now, and those of you who are not Patreons or channel members may be wondering what I'm talking about. Well, that's one of the perks of being a channel member or a patron, is that you get not only early access to videos that I may be posting in the future, but you also get to participate in live hangout events like movie night, where we all come into the StreamYard together and we can watch a movie that I can't show on YouTube because it's a whole movie. It'll be copyrighted. But because it's private and it's not being streamed anywhere and nobody else can come in and see us, then it's possible to do that. It's like coming over and visiting somebody at their house. And everybody's saying hello to each other. Let's see. Apparently, the Salkinds, the elder in particular, were jerks. Yeah, they were. They were about making money too. So you got to remember that. That's bottom line, and that's what's been lost with movie studios today, and producers and people making movies. The number one thing is not to entertain; it's to make money. Now, how do you make money? Well, if you make an entertaining movie that people want to go see, boom, you make money. But you put out trash movies that nobody wants to go see, they tank and you don't make any money. I'm looking at the Marvels, okay? So what happens? All right, so we've got movie studios who want to change the storyline of these characters altogether because they don't care about us, the fans. They think that they're going to replace us with these jerks over there on X, formerly known as Twitter. Okay, these pink and purple haired idiots that have mental illness. So they're going to replace us with them. So they're making movies that they think that these idiots will, mentally challenged people are going to watch. But what they don't realize is these people are not fans of this shit and they're not going to see the movie. They'll be more than happy to sit there and whine as loud as they can online, louder than you or I. And because of that, the movie studios think that there's more of them than there are us. Well, it's the other way around. There's way more of us than there are them, and they don't even go watch the movies. Yellow Flash said it the best just the other day. If all of these people that are whining online about the Marvels had gone to see the movie would have made money. Yeah. Shaitan's Hammer said Kryptonians were clones. All right. Let's get into that real quick. I know that the comments are getting away from me, but here we go. Well, we'll get into that. All right. So originally, Golden Age, Kryptonians were a race of superhumans. The explanation for that was that they had evolved to the highest of evolution, and they could jump very, very far. They were super strong, super smart, because of evolution had brought them to that point. And so when Superman came to Earth, he was like his people. Golden Age, first Golden Age. Well, that kind of evolved into he could fly and all this stuff, but he could only do it on Earth, and the Kryptonians were normal on their planet. And that evolved even further from being just because of the low gravity of Earth to the Earth's yellow sun endowed him with this energy, along with the lower gravity of Earth. So yeah, and the Kryptonians were normal people. They married and reproduced normally, even up into the Bronze Age. And then after Crisis, John Byrne took over the comics, and he significantly changed things. He kind of combined different elements of things that he liked in science fiction and the original Christopher Reeve Superman movie into what he produced for the Man of Steel miniseries, where it was introduced that the Kryptonians were a solitary people. Everyone, there were very few of them on the planet, and they all lived alone in these towers. And you had to get permission to reproduce. And reproduction consisted of getting the genetic material from one Kryptonian and the genetic material from another Kryptonian and combining them in a gestation chamber to create the new baby or new Kryptonian, which is kind of cold and scientific. But that doesn't mean they were clones, not necessarily. So I would like to know where you heard the Kryptonians were clones, Shaitan. That's kind of curious. Laxi Rex says, thanks for all that, my friends. Yes, absolutely. No problem there, Lag. Bo Hicks says, I've been visualizing Christopher Reeves done up to look old so he could play the role of his father, Jor-El. I've been thinking about it since watching the replay earlier. No. So Christopher Reeve was probably about 33 years old. Jor-El was probably in his early to mid 30s when Krypton was doomed and he had to send his baby son to Earth in that homemade rocket. So Christopher Reeve would not have to have been made up to look old. He would look just like he would look as Superman when he played Jor-El. It's just that instead of wearing a Superman suit, he would have wore a Jor-El costume. And I was thinking suspicion that it probably would have been green with red highlights, because that's what he looked like in the comics at the time. Bjorn Jorgensen says, become a patron or the Majestic Tiger comes out. Rawr. Now, Bjorn. We don't get new patrons and new channel members by threatening people. Mr. Benny says, I had no problems. I couldn't chat and watch at the same time, and I didn't have sound. I'm sure it's me doing something wrong. I did enjoy it. I'm sure, Mr. Benny, that it probably would have looked better had you been able to throw it up on the TV. The only way I know of to do that would be to Applecast it and with your iPhone. And I used to have a TV. It was a Samsung TV that I could do that with. I've got an LG TV after the Samsung TV got the black screen of death, and I had to throw it away. The LG TV will not allow me to Applecast. AirDrop is what they call it, I think. AirDrop. I can't airdrop anything to it, or Aircast, whatever they call it. Thanos Copter, what's up, my brother? Good to see you, Thanos. You guys check out Thanos' Instagram page. He's also got a new YouTube channel. On his Instagram page, he posts some interesting toy photography. He's got into a kick here lately of some not safe for work toy photography. I'm sure that he while entertaining Thanos, I think it's time to also do some other photography with combining figure lines and showing some scenes from storylines and stuff like that using the figures. I'm not saying don't stop doing, Fisto Friday and stuff like that, but spice it up a little bit with some other stuff. And then you can also go over to his YouTube channel where he has been doing a series of videos on his journey into toy photography. Those are very entertaining and neat to watch. So check that out. One of you wrenches, throw up a link over there to the Thanos Copters channel here on YouTube, and I would appreciate that. Bjorn says the Thanos Copter, you got a shout out over on the WMC. Oh, that's pretty cool. Bjorn, I heard you were on there the other day, so I'll have to go back and check that out when I get a chance here this afternoon. Boba Hicks says they're going to replace us with AI. Well, I just heard some news last night before I went to bed about YouTube, and they're changing their AI policies starting at the beginning of next year. If you produce videos using AI, and there's a lot of people doing that, and I'm sure you've seen them. That's those faceless channels where they do all the narration with an AI and stuff like that. I've seen some videos, deep fakes that are done with AI that you can't tell that it's not real. Well, YouTube is telling content creators that if you create videos using AI technology, you will have to put up a little thing, I guess, over here in this corner. It's where you usually see it on where, right now, if you got a paid promotion on there, like if I did a commercial read on here, like for I don't know, moon titles, you see, you can be a lord or lady of the moon. All you have to do is buy 1 square millimeter of moon surface area, and suddenly you can become a lady or a lord of the moon. If I was reading an ad read like that, you have to tell everybody that your video contains a paid promotion, and the content creators have a checkbox to check for that, and it puts a little notice right up here in the corner that says this video contains paid promotion. I think we're going to see something like that for AI generated stuff. AI generated backgrounds, AI generated characters, AI generated voices. You have to tell people. You are 100% correct, Mr. Bill. Well, thank you. The WMC, he wonders. Oh, Bjorn, you're going to have to tell him what you're talking about there, bro. The World Makers Consortium. It's over on Rad Toys Galaxy YouTube channel every Friday. Put post up for that, Bjorn, so other people can go check it out. Were the Kryptonians clones or were they clones? I would say they were neither. Cloning is more than just replacing normal reproduction with test tube reproduction. Basically, what the Kryptonians would do is they would take the sperm from the male Kryptonian and the egg from the female Kryptonian, combine them in a laboratory environment, and place the fertilized egg into a gestation pod, and the baby would grow in that. So that's not cloning. Cloning is when you take genetic material and create a whole new being using the genetic material so that it is an exact copy of the being that you took the genetic material from. And Laxivak says, so originally Superman was a bit of a John Carter ripoff. I suppose, but if you look back at the origins of the character of Superman, Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster had originally envisioned a Superman, a Ubermensch, basically, and he was an evil character. He was the Superman, if you will, from the Yahtzees, kind of like that. And that wasn't going to go over any time, anywhere for anybody. So they went back and they rethought things, and they decided, okay, well, let's make him the hero. Why has he got super strength? Why can he and he wasn't able to fly? He jump. He jumped like an eighth of a mile jumps. So they thought, well, he comes from a planet with higher gravity than Earth. That's why he can do all these things. And on top of that, the people on that planet have evolved to to genetic supremacy. They are the end result of perfect evolution. They are perfect people. So that's where he came up with that. John Carter, on the other hand, he was just from Earth, and Mars being a smaller planet than Earth, he gained, his strength was greater on Mars than it was here on Earth. Mike looks a little upset there. Don't know why you're upset, Mike. Tell us. The Kryptonians during the Burn reboot were heavily into cloning. It got so bad that cloning was out. Oh, yes, you're absolutely right. They were. There was also a huge anti-cloning movement called the Black Zero. Yeah, there was a war fought about that. Now, this was before Jor-El and Lara's time. And cloning was very outlawed. Cloning was not allowed on the planet Krypton. You're absolutely right, Alex. That does bring back a memory. There was a mini-series called The World of Krypton that came out shortly after the Burn reboot that covered a lot of this. It was a war that was fought even over that. So, yeah. And Kabi says Thanos' new video is up. I'll be checking that after this. Okay, that's cool. Thanos says it's just November. December we'll go back to regular. Okay. Thank you, Bjorn. There is the link to the Thanos Copters YouTube channel. It was really fun. Cool. I'm glad you enjoyed being on there. And Mike Fee also putting up the Thanos Copters link there, guys. So y'all have a way to do that. Go check out Thanos. You're welcome. No problem, Thanos, man. We're all working together. And Mike Fee giving a thumbs up there. Hey, John, World Made of Cardboard. I figured that you would be in last night because, for the Lone Ranger show, I was posting these teasers with these quizzes on the community tab, and also put up an image of the Lone Ranger's creed, the creed that he follows, and it really touched World Made of Cardboard, and he put a comment on that, which I answered back, by the way. And I figured that you would come in for the Lone Ranger show last night, but have no fear. The replay's there, John. You can go back and watch that. We went into a lot of different things, like like I said at the beginning of that video, we could only cover the tip of the iceberg, basically enough to get you more interested in it. And there's a video in the live stream last night that I did called the legend of the Lone Ranger, the legendary flop of the legend of the Lone Ranger, which goes into the details of why that movie failed spectacularly and why it was the fault of those producing it, Jack Rather being one of them. Bjorn Jorgensen says Johnny Sorensen is 100% AI generated. Okay. There we go. Thank you, Bjorn. And then that was the link to the episode that he was in. So we'll have to go back and check that out, guys. So there it is right there. Link that you guys can go to watch that. And Black Phoenix saying hi to the Thanos Copter and World Made of Cardboard. Carol is here. Hey, Miss Carol, good to see you. She's saying hey to everybody. And Mike B says, not upset. I was thinking about the Superman stuff that you were talking about. I never knew that much about him, so I was just thinking, Yeah, Superman is a complicated character that is very hard to write for, but a correct writer, the right writer, can do wonders with him, even if he is all-powerful super character that he was in the 1970s in the Bronze Age. And one of the best at it was Elliot S. Magan. And there is a novel that he wrote called Miracle Monday. If you ever get a chance to read that, it gives you an idea of the kind of stuff that he did with Superman, and it was pretty damn good. And John Byrne did a decent job with Superman, but he had to do the same thing that I think that they did back in the early 70s, or 1970. They depowered Superman. They would do that every once in a while because writers had a hard time writing for an all-powerful character who could do anything at the speed of light that he wanted to. So, you have to know what you're doing to be able to write a story that works with that kind of character. The other thing is you have to get his characterization correct. And that is something that has been sorely missed in the comics and in the latest movie mediums that have come out, is they've missed the mark on Superman's character. I think the closest that I've seen in modern times would probably be the Superman animated series and in Justice League, and that's 20 years ago or more. So, and World Made of Cardboard says, "Sorry, I missed the Lone Ranger show last night. I wasn't feeling good." Now, I'm sorry to hear that, man. And he says he's doing better today. I'm glad to hear that. Well, there's always a replay, John. You can go back and watch it. It's not quite 2 hours long. We got everything covered that I wanted to cover, and we started getting off on tangents and stuff there towards the end. So there was some discussion, not necessarily Lone Ranger related, there towards the end. So I kind of fed the ducks a little early last night, but it was getting close to 2 hours. I think we were right at the hour and 45 minutes when I started feeding ducks. And what we got here, I grew up watching the old black and white Lone Ranger TV show. Great fun. Yeah, I did too. As a matter of fact, they used to play it in the afternoons. TV stations used to play old reruns like Leave It to Beaver and stuff like that in the afternoons after school, before the 5 o'clock news. And that little section, the after school when the kids are coming home section of programming, and they would put that kind of stuff up. And I remember watching the Lone Ranger. Now, what was interesting was it was always the John Hart episodes. I didn't get to see the Clayton Moore episodes of the Lone Ranger television show until I was older. The only way to see the Clayton Moore Lone Ranger was in Saturday morning. After all the Saturday morning cartoons were over with, they would have these Saturday afternoon movies, and they would show like Godzilla and Tarzan, and they would show some of the Lone Ranger movies that Clayton Moore did. I think the Lone Ranger was the first one, and the Lone Ranger City of Gold was the other one. That's the one that started out with the retelling of the Lone Ranger's origin story in the song "Hi-Yo Silver Away." 6 Texas Rangers, hi-yo, hi-yo, rode in the sun, hi-yo, hi-yo. Good stuff. And I actually played that intro and a recut intro of the Color 5th season of Lone Ranger that when Jack Rather was producing it. And moving along, does Doc Savage predate Superman? He absolutely does predate Superman. Doc Savage was a pulp character. He was the Man of Bronze. And if you watch, back when me and Largo were doing these last year, we did a spotlight on Doc Savage. And that's still available back in my back catalog. So if you go back and look in the live stream section, or look, I think it's probably would also be over. I need to put it in the spotlights section as well. I've got some playlists, and one of them, the spotlights, I probably need to put it over there, but if I haven't already. But if you go back and watch the Doc Savage spotlight, we talk about that. Yes, Doc Savage probably had more impact upon Superman than any other character. There were a lot of things borrowed from Doc Savage. Man of Bronze, Doc Savage, Superman, Man of Steel, You know, Doc Savage had a Fortress of Solitude, and Superman has a Fortress of Solitude. I mean, we could go on, but there's a lot of parallels. It's not rip off. It's just ideas, you know, that are brought from one to another in one form or fashion, and that happens all the time. So there's nothing wrong with that as long as you're making it a little different. We do that all the time. And Lax says, you mean the real Doc Savage who always dressed like he was going on a hunting trip? Yeah, he would wear Jodhpur riding breeches, and he had that safari coat, you know, on. Yeah, and a lot of time his shirt would be ripped so you could see his chest and his muscles. And they depicted him one of two ways. On the Pulp magazine covers, he was always predicted with kind of wavy bronze hair or kind of brownish hair on his head. And then, of course, when the novels, which were collections of the Pulp magazine stories, when the novels came out, the paperback novels, the artist who drew the covers for those gave him the blonde hair with the widow's peak in the front. Yeah, that's the Doc Savage we're talking about. And Hopalong Cassidy, I remember watching Hopalong Cassidy movies on Saturday with my dad. That was a long time ago. And he was pretty violent. He could be. There was a lot of gunplay and stuff going on in those old westerns. Warman Cowboy says, I remember watching Saturday morning Filmation cartoon with Zorro and Tarzan. Yeah, the Tarzan Lone Ranger Zorro Adventure Hour. The intro to that is available on YouTube. I almost showed it last night, but I didn't. I didn't want to overload the show. There's also a Lone Ranger cartoon from 1968 that is a little surreal. You have to watch that if you ever get a chance. Rolando Flores is here with me. Hey, Rolando, good to see you, man. Lack says, so Superman is a Doc Savage, John Carter mashup with a bit of evolution. There were ideas taken from all of that, Lack. So yeah, I guess you could say that. Lack says Doc Savage was my favorite Man of Bronze. Heck yeah, Doc Savage, man. My intro to Doc Savage was reading the novels. The Bantam novels. I think Bantam was the one that came out with those novels. And back a few years ago, I got my hands on a large collection of those. They were going to be thrown in the trash. And instead of being thrown in the trash, they got thrown onto my paperback shelf over here behind the printer. So I have a big collection of them. I don't have them all, but I have plenty of them. And I've read most, if not all of them, and they are excellent reads. And Doc Savage also had a team that helped him out. And the two that I like the best, you know, are Monk and Ham. Ham was this prissy English guy, wear a bowler hat and, you know, walk around with an umbrella in his hand. And then there was Monk, who was like this short, stocky, heavy set, strong, hairy little ape-like little man, you know, with all this shock of red hair on his head. And I think it was in Tarzan Alive, which was written by Philip Jose Farmer, where he speculated that Ham was actually a great ape, like the ones that raised Tarzan. Kind of interesting idea. And yeah, he had a Fortress of Solitude in the Arctic Circle. That is correct. And he had those tall ass laced up boots. Yeah. And Lax Sivrak says, hop along, took very little prisoners while Gene Autry would hard her to fly. Yeah, Gene Autry was the singing cowboy. Lax says, I love the history and backstory of the pop culture icons from the platinum, gold, and silver ages. Blue Sasquatch says, I enjoy long walks on the beach and shark attacks. Okay. Sharks with big freaking lasers on their heads. Christian Phantom Geek, good to see you. Glad you showed up. One Minute Cardboard says there are two hero types. One that goes through the hero's journey, as in Luke Skywalker, and the all-knowing, powerful, also kind of like Doctor Who or Superman. The all-knowing, powerful is more difficult to write for. Absolutely. And one of the things that I find interesting is that once the hero's gone on the hero's journey, he doesn't have to do it again and again and again and again. And that's something that modern day writers don't understand. Most of the heroes that have gone on a hero's journey to become the hero that they are, you know, that they did their hero's journey early in their career, when the character was first created. So the modern writers like, I don't get to take him on a hero's journey. So I'm going to take him on a hero's journey myself. And that generally doesn't work. So, you know, why does Superman have to keep learning the same lessons over and over and over in his comic? I'm looking at that one where he went walking across the United States because he was out of touch with the people. I mean, how many times do you have to learn your lesson? I mean, yeah, I understand Beaver's brain was so small that the lesson went in his ear and went all the way around his brain without ever touching it and fell out the other side. So Beaver never learned his lesson. But Superman, I would think, being super intelligent, would learn his fucking lesson, right? Oh, maybe I'm not thinking correctly. You guys tell me what you think. Autry was still a tough dude and a hell of a fist fighter. I love those old fist fights back in the old Western movies and stuff. Bonanza, when somebody would get in a fist fight with a horse, that was always funny. You're talking about magical power systems. We're more or less talking about heroes like Superman, Lone Ranger, you know, stuff like that. But He-Man, you know, any hero that you're talking about goes on the hero's journey. See, a hard power system versus a soft power system. Okay. Continue on that their CFG and let us know. And I'll post up what you write here. Ronald Flores busy touting everybody's channel for me. Thank you, Rolando. Thank you so much. Going through the hero's journey over and over. How many times have we seen Batman's parents get killed? I mean, yeah, we don't need to go through the hero's journey again and again. All right, so you know, let's just Batman, for instance. I mean, so you know, every once in a while, for some reason, Batman has to go through all this retraining that I don't think is necessary because suddenly he's not Batman anymore. He's out of touch with reality. I mean, how many times do you have to learn your lesson, Bruce? You know, I don't know. It's like every time we get a new writer, we got to retell the same stories over and over again. It's unnecessary. The Space Bandito himself, Rolando. See, totally agree with you. Too many times going through a hero's journey. Yes. And I Like Salt says, I like to make the same I like to make the same mistakes over and over. I know I have a blind spot in the car. Maybe next time I will remember. And Lack agrees with World Made of Cardboard. CFG says, so Neo is increasing in power in the Matrix. Jessica Jones has stable powers. Okay. And that don't change. Okay. She's different to Neo. Okay. So I see what you're talking about. So Neo is consistently increasing in power in the Matrix series, and each one he gets ever more powerful as he moves along. Whereas Jessica Jones, she stays in the same power level. She's not going to be any different tomorrow than she is today, and in any comic that she appears in. I see where you're going with that. So therefore, she has to think as well in order to use her powers, because she has a finite limit to her powers. So she has to use her powers wisely in order to accomplish something that may be out of her power range. Yeah, I like that, CFG. I like that. That's some thought into that. What Made of Cardboard says, Doctor Who was old when we first met him. He had a family. They were gone. Why now do we have to have love interest and relationships and stuff like that? Well, the problem with Doctor Who is now, remember, Doctor Who's always been a progressive television show as far as that goes. I mean, I'm looking back to John Pertwee, the third Doctor. You know, the environmental issues were big, very, very, very liberal issues being shown on the show, but it has gone completely off of the rails here lately. Recently, the Children in Need episode came out with. Of course, they've got David Tennant back in the role because they're trying to get people to watch it again before they move on to the next Doctor. So they're trying to lure us back in. Well, I'm not gonna just bite the fish hook. Okay, I'm going to test the waters a little bit and ease into it, because Doctor Who's one of my favorite properties. People, I have all of the episodes of vintage Doctor Who, every damn one of them, and the ones that don't exist are either reconstructions or cartoon versions or something. There's something in my collection to represent each and every episode of Doctor Who, from the William Hartnell all the way up to the present. Whereas it stopped after the first season of Jodie Whittaker. I got that season and I haven't purchased anything else for it since. I'm one of those fans they lost when they went off the deep end with this crap. Well, what happened in the Children in Need episode? Well, they decided to have the Doctor go back in to Skaro, to the Genesis of the Daleks time. Spoilers. And he meets Davros again. Well, Russell T. Davies is like, well, we can't be prejudiced against people in wheelchairs by showing them as to be the villains. So, it's a new time and a new age. So we didn't show Davros in his wheelchair as a deformed mutant. So even the great Russell T. Davies is fucking up the show. So I don't even know if I'm going to get into it or not. I'm probably going to watch the Star Beast when it comes out here around Thanksgiving and see. I don't have Disney Plus, so how am I going to watch it? Well, I'm going to have to go out there and get the ship ready so I can go out to sail on the high seas again. I don't like doing that, but I do when I have to. Gilster is here. Hello and good afternoon. Good to see you, Gilster. Glad you showed up. Lex, you're at Murder Inc. in the house. CFG, well said, my friend. And Blue Sasquatch says Doctor Who music scares the shit out of him. That was some the old Delia Derbyshire music from back in the day. Dun 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 dun. Ooh, yeah, that's some cool stuff, man. Gordon Jorgensen going on a Walmart run. Wish me luck. Good luck, my friend, and may a reverse flash be found, or 2 or 3. If you find a reverse flash and you get it, man, you know I will reimburse you for that and send it right along, man. I would appreciate that. Good luck, Bjorn Jorgensen. Like Civex says, I'm going to have to go back and watch that 1970s Doc Savage movie. I'm pretty sure it's on Prime. I've seen that movie. It is a hoot. It's very campy, and you know it's got some campy music in Doc Savage. Yeah, it's a product of its time. Just you watch it with that in mind, that it was a product of its time. So yeah, I would like, if they do a modern Doc Savage, I'd like to see a more serious interpretation. And no, I don't want Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson to play him. No. Gilster says, enjoyed Lone Ranger episode last night and finished earlier. Oh, cool. I'm glad you got a chance to rewatch that there, Gilster. Do the replay. Johnny Sorensen worked very hard on the material for that, and so did I. As a matter of fact, the videos that I showed, one of the videos that I showed was the one on the Legend of the Lone Ranger and the legendary flop of said movie. I actually filmed, cut, and everything on that right after I got off of work yesterday. So from 1 o'clock almost all the way up until showtime, I was cutting that video. So yeah, that was quite a feat for me. Yeah. Lack says Blue Harvey, smart. I brought up a good point. Vader is a cripple, and we're gonna have to cancel him too. There we go. Yeah. We got to cancel Vader. Yeah, he's. But see, he's not riding in a wheelchair. See, supposedly, what Russell T. Davies said, and this was on an interview that was posted over on X, which I haven't actually seen the entirety of over on X because I don't get on there anymore. People over there are crazy. But anyway, basically, he said Davros is in a wheelchair. So because Davros was a cripple in a wheelchair, and the reason he was because he was in an explosion. That's why his face is scarred up. That's why his eyes were burned out, and he has to wear that bionic eye on the top of his head. And the lower half of his body was pretty much destroyed. So they stuck him in a Dalek chair. So, you know, he's in a wheelchair, and we don't want to show that cripples in wheelchairs are bad guys because that would be bad. So what you're saying is that just anybody can't be a villain. If you're a minority, you can't be a villain. You're just impossible for you to be a villain. There are no villainous people that ride in wheelchairs. So that means that Blofeld, we can't have Blofeld riding in a wheelchair, you know, because he got crippled by Bond. Because as soon as he became a cripple, he stopped being a villain. He can't be a villain once you become a cripple. That's crazy. Ignorant shit. Enjoy the Walmart show. People at Walmart. That's usually late at night though. I like Salt. Although they don't open Walmart 24/7 anymore like they used to. Remember back in the day, you could go to Walmart at like 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning, and there would be wildlife roaming around in there. Yeah, I miss that. You missed it live, but you can always watch the replay. The replay is very watchable, I think. I'm going to probably check in on that so I can see some of the chat that I missed at some point today. Blue Harvest made a good point earlier that Darth Vader is also a cripple. Now we're going to cancel him too. Yeah. I mean, that's stupid. I'll be watching, catching the rewatch on the Lone Ranger episode as soon as we're done. Well, thank you, Lack. I appreciate that, man. And those of you who are catching the replay of that live stream, make sure you hit the like button and make sure that you go into the comment section and leave your comments since you weren't able to do the live chat. I always try to read all of the comments, and sometimes I actually comment back. The latest Doctor Who seems to be a sorry we messed up, please forgive us, but it's not tricking true Who fans. No, it's not tricking me at all. I mean, I see the writing on the wall. Russell T. Davies already said that he wasn't going to retcon the stories that Chris Chibnall had written. So all that's going to be canon from here on out, as far as they're concerned. And Doctor Who is going to be on Disney Plus, which means that pretty much Doctor Who is a Disney property. So I'm going to call it dead. It's dead. It's dead. They killed it. They killed it. The only show that I've ever known that came back from the dead in the original format that it was in and done well, and this time it wasn't the powers that be's fault. It wasn't Michael Grade this time, who became the head of the BBC and hated Doctor Who, and so he made sure that he canceled it. No, they canceled themselves. And that's fucked up. That's fucked up. Davros was already in the chair by the time he created the Daleks. If they want to clone a new body for Davros, that would be fine, but don't go messing with the past because of modern sensibilities. I agree, Alex. I agree. Love that Doc Savage song. Can't support The Rock in anything anymore. Me either. He destroyed Black Adam. Destroyed it. Dwayne's next Star Wars movie, The Rock Awakens. As a kid, I would put my plastic army man in the middle of my mother's Yuletide village. My wife got me back by placing her TARDIS in the middle of my cardboard Santa's Christmas village. John, you've got to post pictures of this stuff, man. I know you've got an Instagram over there where you can put these pictures up, man. I would love to see stuff like that. That is hilarious. Put it on. You got a YouTube channel. John, World Made of Cardboard's got a YouTube channel. You wrenches, get off your duff and get John's link up here so folks can go there to it. He shows you how to build cardboard toys over there and gives you links to the PDFs so that you can download and print them out and do them as well. That is so cool, John. And yeah, you can post pictures of your wife's TARDIS in your cardboard Santa's Christmas village. So there you go. That was supposed to say Blue Harvest, Mark. Okay. Now, what horror awaits that Christmas village? Dr. Strangelove was in a wheelchair. Good point. Good point. Dr. Strangelove was the coolest person ever in a wheelchair. It's like Severac. His hand is still under Hitler's control. The idea that disabled people are only allowed to be virtuous and noble is kind of racist. People are people no matter what. Yeah, see, you can't defeat racism with reverse racism. You can't defeat reverse ableism with defeat ableism with reverse ableism, or whatever you want to call it. the reverse of what it is not necessarily. I'm just at a loss. I'm getting too old, folks. I'm just getting too old. I'm still going to give Doctor Who a chance. I'm not going to lie. Just like the new Netflix He-Man Masters of the Universe Revolution, I'm going to watch that. I'm probably going to watch this. I'm going to have to sail to watch it because I got rid of Disney Plus and I don't have it here. But yeah, I'm going to have to grab my tri-corner hat and put my eye patch on and stick a parrot on my shoulder and batten down the hatches and hoist up the mainsail there on the waters to see this. I'll probably do it. Not my insert remake here. Yeah, every modern remake, everyone. Hey, Jamie, good to see you. Blue Sasquatch says, hey, I didn't know Jennifer Aniston was in the first Leprechaun movie. The first Leprechaun movie was hilarious. I remember there was like 4 people, maybe 5 people sitting in an empty movie theater watching that thing when I watched it. And we just sit there and eviscerated the whole thing. It was hilarious. Doctor Who is going to be purple haired. Pretty close. Pretty close. Pretty close. Thank you, Rolando. He's got your link up there to World Made of Cardboard. Go over to John's channel. There's his Instagram. Get his YouTube channel up here too, man. When Dr. Strangelove's hand started choking himself, I died laughing. And it was a couple of years, December 21st, 2021. It's on my Instagram. Okay, I'll have to go back and look at your old stuff on Instagram. Love the Dr. Strangelove character. Yeah. It makes me want to go watch Dr. Strangelove again. It's been a long time since I watched that. I couldn't tell you how long ago it's been so long. That's one of those movies that I'm going to have to force my daughter to watch. I've spent my time when she was under my tutelage. And even up until this very day when she's no longer here in my household, forcing her to watch those movies that I felt like must be watched by everyone, the Omega Man, Soylent Green, etc., 2001: A Space Odyssey. Oh, that was the hard. I had to literally hold her down to keep her from leaving the room, to make her watch 2001: A Space Odyssey. But in her later years, she says, man, Dad, I'm so glad you made me do those, because now I can understand all these pop culture references in the shows I like to watch. So, it's out there, and there's reasons why these things are iconic. Top of the world, Ma. Yoo-hoo. John says, we have a Disney Plus account because my wife loves the old classic Disney films. When they made good movies, when they made movies for kids and not for crazy people on X, formerly known as Twitter. We have a BritBox account only because of Classic Who. Yeah, and that's probably gonna go away. I don't know if you guys have heard, but the son of one of the guys who wrote the original first episode of Doctor Who that we know of as The Unearthly Child is asserting that he owns that, and that the BBC is not paying royalties to them for it, and that they can't show it anymore. These people are crazy. That's insane. He's holding the first episode of Doctor Who hostage. Great Slim Pickens film. Lax Sivrak says, ever see Nemo with Robert Ryan, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea? Yes. Thank you for the shout out, Bill. I'm working on a model right now. I hope to have it on my channel soon. I cannot wait. CFG says humans are storytelling driven. Gilster says, you can't fight in this. This is the war room. Yeah. I remember that. Yeah. You can't fight in here. This is the war room. What a better place to fight than the freaking war room. I wish it were back like it was back in the days when, you know, this on the Senate floor, two senators were getting into disagreement. They fist fight right there in the Senate chambers. You know what I'm talking about, Lack, man. These were men sitting in there, and they did men things, even though they were senators and representatives in Congress. We understand reality through story. Well, our stories tell versions of what happened before. That's the way our history works. We tell stories, and those stories are our history. And we do need good stories, and our heroes, He-Man, Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, Captain America, the X-Men. These are modern day mythology, modern day legends, modern day stories that help us. And what movie studios and these blue-haired idiots and the people who are writing this stuff have done, if they have deconstructed our heroes, they have deconstructed our mythology and destroyed it, which in turn traumatizes us, and it leaves us lost because our heroes have been destroyed. They're gone. Kathleen Kennedy over there, let's get rid of Luke Skywalker and replace her with Rey in these terrible movies. Let's kill the Indiana Jones franchise. Let's or even worse, we had Jar Jar Abrams over there destroying Star Trek. I mean, why are they doing this? Are they trying to demoralize us? Because if they are, it's kind of working. I'm so glad that we have an Unearthly Child on DVD. This is why physical media is important. It absolutely is why physical media is important. I've been preaching that ever since the cloud came about. I have a good friend of mine got rid of all his DVDs. I'm going to store everything on the cloud. Why should I not? I said, what happens when the cloud goes away? You're going to be sad. No, the cloud never go away. Oh, okay. Yeah, that balloon's going to go up one of these days, folks. And when it does, you'll be glad that you kept your DVDs and your Blu-rays. I heard about the first Doctor Who episode mess. If BritBox cuts Doctor Who, we'll probably drop service. I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. If you got a video service or streaming service and you're on there for one reason and that reason goes away, yeah, you're wasting your money then, right? Yep. Modern day mythical heroes. Hey, Daniel St. John, good to see you. Glad you showed up today. The written word is only 13,000 years old. We've been around much longer than that, but humans have an oral tradition, much like modern indigenous people. Yeah, I mean, the oral stories were around long before writing was invented. I think one of the first written stories was Beowulf, if I'm not mistaken. But how was the story of Beowulf conveyed before that? Well, there were these bards called Scops, and the Scops would go around and they would sing songs and they would tell tales. And they were the ones who told the story of Beowulf before the writing was invented, before the monks sat down and wrote the story down. The story was told through song and by these bards that would go around and tell it to the kings and to the people in the street and anybody who would listen. Notice nobody's creating new content as far as Hollywood. Just making no new. No, there's nothing new in Hollywood. They're taking old IP and reissuing it over and over and over again because they don't have any balls. They don't have any bravery. They can't create something new because what if it fails? Well, let's just take something that's already proven to be true and ruin it, and and reintroduce it, so we don't have to worry about that. But we're idiots, so let's ruin it so that it fails, and let's destroy it so that it no longer makes any money and turns people away from it. So it's crazy. Ray's hot. I'm. She's the bestest ever. I'm a Jedi Knight, and I don't even have to train. I just know how to use a lightsaber. And DC making Superman a global citizen instead of an American who believes in truth, justice, and the American way. Yeah, that's the first thing that they started doing was they started dropping the American way off of that. I'm going all the way back to the Brandon Ruth film. When Brandon Ruth was going to be Superman, which was not a bad movie, but it was weird. That was one of the first things that they made. The woke media made a big deal about the fact, well, they're not going to say American way anymore. Physical media love it all. I'm more a fan of seeing how it looks than the 4K touch-up. Love the vintage style. Yes. Lax Sivrak says, everyone go watch the film Clear Cut, starring Graham Greene. It's a must. Okay. And he agrees with Gilster. I Like Salt says, Beowulf. Damn, I'm old. Wonderful poem. Yeah. And we were forced to read that in high school, if I'm not mistaken. I Like Salt, and we didn't know why. And looking back now, we do. So we have the Tale of Gilgamesh is another one that comes to mind. So we have the Tale of Gilgamesh. We have Beowulf. These were the very first superheroes, were they not? Beowulf's a superhero. He can swim underwater and hold his breath in order to go down to Grendel's lair. He can fight the dragon. You know, and he could swim in the sea, and he could best any man in a match, and he could fight Grendel, who was a troll, giant, huge troll, killing everybody, but he couldn't defeat Beowulf because he's a superhuman. They're trying to destroy everything in our Western civilization. It's a Marxist attempt. Yes, it is. And if you guys don't believe me, Khrushchev sat and banged his shoe on the table and said that they would defeat America not from without, but from within. And you look back and you see what their manifesto says on how to do it, and it falls right in line. Daniel, you've got a point. And Mike V says he's not a fan of Ray either. And what's Blue Sasquatch going to say to that? Ray, way better actor than Luke. Okay, all right. Everybody has their opinions. Just because your opinion doesn't agree with mine doesn't mean that you're not entitled to it, even if you are wrong. Most companies now are just investment firms. They don't want to try anything new because they could lose their stock prices. Exactly, John. Exactly. That couldn't have said that any better myself. And Mike agrees to disagree with the Blue Sasquatch. They used to try to take a good idea and copy it, but it was different. Like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Street Sharks and Biker Mice and Cowboys of Moo Mesa. Right. But instead, nothing is dropping like the stock, dropping the stock like what they're doing now. Absolutely. And we have a new Gilgamesh translation. I'll get around to reading that someday. Yeah. Well, we need to go back to those. That's what we need to do. Forget this new stuff. Go back to the stories that are tried and true. They're also making the Golden Age Green Lantern Alan Scott gay, but they've been doing that for a while, Daniel. That's nothing new. And I don't agree with that. He was not gay. He had children. Where did Infinity Incorporated come from? Where did Jade come from? Where did Nucleon come from? Alan Scott didn't screw his gay lover in the butthole and his gay lover shit them out. No, they came from his wife, a woman. Thank you. And General Patton said we're fighting the wrong people when he died. Well, yeah. Yeah. But the idea is to destroy all of our pop culture icons so that we're more easily controlled, I guess. A perfect example of that was there was a time when we were told to do something and it didn't make any sense. And most people, even though it didn't make any sense to them, just conformed. They just did it because they were told to do it. And those of us who refused were outcast and made fun of and vilified and canceled. And, and some of the things that they told us to do have had very bad consequences on today's world. And yes, I'm speaking in code because YouTube is an enforcer of those things. Our freedoms are getting eaten away bit by bit, day by day. The freedom of speech, the ability to communicate freely with one another, is limited by the media that we have to use in order to do that. And YouTube is a perfect example of that. The Green Lantern, I used to think was just one guy, but there's a planet full of them, and that was new to me back in the day. Yes. Now you're talking when Hal Jordan found out that he was a member of a space police corps called the Green Lantern Corps, and the Guardians had him to go to that to Oa in order to train, and then the storyline went that he had to leave Earth and become a space policeman, and the stories got cosmic at that point, and that's when we had the replacement Lantern here on Earth, John Stewart, for a time. Yes, wonderful stories from back in the Bronze Age. Every culture has a story of a great flood. It does. And also an unknown hero who comes and does something to save the people, be it building a boat or a wall or taking the people to the top of a mountain. Talk about the original superhero. Yeah. Stickman and Noah. Come on, show it. There we go. Whatever you can't question must be a lie. If you're not allowed to question it, that's a red flag. If you're not allowed to ask questions, if you're not allowed to have a debate about something, the science is settled. It's set in stone. No, it never has been. Any scientist worth his salt will tell you that. If that were so, at one time, the science said that the sun revolved around the earth and the earth was the center of the universe. Why do we not still believe that if the science is settled? Science told us that. People were killed for saying otherwise, or called a heretic and taken off and burned at the stake for saying otherwise. It's like it's all happening all over again. What did they say in Battlestar Galactica? All of these things have happened before, and they will happen again. But damn if that ain't true, huh? But they're small enclaves and tribes of humans who refuse to conform. And you find them everywhere. Sometimes they are in the chat of a toy channel on YouTube. The purpose of the contrary warrior is to ask questions and get people out of their comfort zone and to make them think. See, Lack and I think alike in a lot of ways. And it's one of the reasons why he's such a great friend of mine. And I've missed you, Lack. I've really missed you. And I'm glad you're back, man. And I'm glad things are going well. And I can't wait to see what more you have to show us. Debate is the journey to enlightenment. And see, after everything that we've said today, you know, what Lack is giving us here is the good news. So when I get ready to feed the ducks here in a second, we can leave the show with a little bit of hope in our heart. Okay. These things too shall pass. Everything is in a season. And as we know, summer turns into autumn. Autumn turns into winter. And winter turns into spring. And spring, once again, turns into summer. So this too shall pass. In college, a professor told me that a country is only as good as its heroes. Growing up, we had heroes who stood for something higher and noble. Today's heroes are smart-mouthed murderers. As the immortal Scott Adams said in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, these people will be the first ones up against the wall when the revolution happens. The ones who are doing these things to us today, the useful idiots, as they used to call them. So all this shall come to shall end. And you know, we may not get to see it in our lifetime, but that's the hope that we have, and that's the good news. More John Wayne movies in elementary schools. Well, guys, it's at the 2-hour mark now. I'm going to go ahead and start this duck feeding frenzy here and get them fed. I enjoyed you guys being here. We had a wonderful show, and we had a lot of folks that showed up here today, and it was just me. And we had a really deep discussion in the end part of the show, and I appreciate you guys being here, especially you, Lack. It's good to see you, man. And yeah, probably not going to have any episodes next week. It's Thanksgiving weekend, so I'm going to take a break next weekend. No Saturday night show, no Sunday show. However, keep your notification bells rung. Make sure you subscribe to all notifications on that, because you never know when I might release them. There will be a release this week on Wednesday. Those of you who are channel members already have access to that. Don't worry, Coach Rick, you will have access to that here shortly before this day is over. In the meantime, I'm so glad all of you can be here today. We will see you after the holidays are over with, right here on Weird Great Head Toy Adventures, and everywhere Everyone have a good journey.
Special thanks to the channel supporters. Without your help, these adventures would not be possible. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed today's adventure, please hit like, subscribe, and share the video.